Edge at 11 starts now.
Tonight on The Edge, a grandmother's desperate plea to gain custody of her grandchildren.
The kids ended up in different foster care homes after their mother had a mental breakdown while on vacation in Florida, endangering the life of her baby. Fox News' Jessica Dupnack joining us live with the details on this case. And tough situation here.
Absolutely, Taryn and Roop. We have been following this story since that first happened in November. Now, mom had the mental breakdown, then went to prison. Into jail. She's still there. Now, grandma and grandpa from Detroit flew down to Florida to get those 5 kids, bring them back home, give them some stability. Well, they were blocked by Florida's version of CPS down there. Grandparents have been fighting ever since, and they do not know what else they can do.
I've called everybody, and I need some help. My grandsons want to come home.
She's fighting for custody of her 5 grandsons in separate foster homes in Florida, with no chance, at least right now, of coming back to Detroit. Placed there by the Department of Children and Families, or DCF, after the youngest, Carvon, was found abandoned in Daytona Beach in early November, allegedly by his mom, Shamika Mitchell. She abruptly packed the boys up to move there days before. This is the 911 call from Carvon's oldest brother.
He took my little brother somewhere. He say it was his dad, and I'm keep telling her to show me proof, but she's not showing me proof.
We're told Mitchell, who suffers from mental illness, left the 1-year-old near the beach, discovered by beachgoers, unresponsive, cold to the touch in a wet diaper, rushed to the hospital where he stayed for several days, but has since recovered.
I believe my daughter was having an episode, but she would never harm her kids.
Mitchell is in custody down in Florida on child neglect charges. Her mom, Valerie Mitchell, says after this all happened, DCF told her and her husband they could come get the children. They flew down that day.
We stayed there at the hospital hoping and praying that when he got discharged, we were going to be able to get all 5 of the boys and get on a plane and get back home.
But then, she says, their request was denied over and over, and the boys were placed in 3 separate foster homes. She tells us they've been given no reason why the kids can't be placed with them or any other family members.
Some days it's okay. Other days, I get them calling me, crying and stuff. Grandma, when we coming home?
It's been especially hard on 17-year-old Tayshawn.
He's supposed to graduate next year. He asked me, is this going to affect him graduating? He want to graduate on time. He looking forward to the prom.
Valerie says at least a couple of the boys have cell phones so she can communicate. But recently, she's lost contact with her 7-year-old grandson, adding to the urgency of it all.
Telling me, y'all took the cell phone because he was calling his family too much. He's 7. He don't understand all of this that's going on.
Got to feel for those kids, and something just does not add up here. We did reach out to both child protective agencies here in Michigan and down in Florida. It was after hours, so we couldn't get a whole lot of answers, but we will continue to follow up. Reporting live, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
It really doesn't make sense. You would think that the state would have wanted them to go with blood relatives and the grandparents being the closest option there. Jessica, what are their options, this woman's options? I mean, does she have to get an attorney? We know it's very expensive to work through all of that.
She was trying to go without an attorney at this point and handle things by herself. And, you know, she can't keep flying up and down. It's expensive at this point. But, yeah, I think that that's her next move, is to hire an attorney and see what she can find out, because she doesn't understand the laws in Florida, and she's not getting many calls back either.
Well, maybe somebody watching will be able to help out, because it is tough to facilitate situations like that when it's laws in different states and so forth. So thanks, Jessica, for that report. Well, it has been a long 2 years for the Oxford community and a school shooting that killed 4 students.
But tomorrow the gunman will learn his fate. A judge will decide whether the shooter, now 17, will be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The gunman was 15 when he opened fire inside Oxford High School. 4 students were killed, 6 others hurt, and a teacher as well. After his Miller hearing, a judge decided the teen was eligible to be sentenced without parole, but a psychologist telling Fox 2 he doesn't believe life in prison is the right punishment.
I met with him 6 times, and he has a hard time talking about what he did. He's not boasting, he's not arrogant, he's very contrite, and I think if he gets a chance to speak, you probably may hear some of that.
The sentencing will begin tomorrow at 9 a.m. And of course, you can watch it live at fox2detroit.com, and we'll bring you coverage at 5, 6, 10, and 11.
Before Huron police officers responded accordingly when they were called to a deadly attack outside of a Port Huron bar last month. That's according to an investigation by the department. Now, Joshua Conant was found unresponsive after being held down by bouncers. Port Huron police say the officers recognized this and then began life-saving measures until EMS arrived, which is policy. All officers involved have been returned to full duty. A criminal investigation led by state police is still ongoing. A disturbing attack on the Jewish community amid a rise in anti-Semitism.
A man was allegedly cutting down flyers showing hostages being held by Hamas. Neighbors witnessed the alleged acts today. Photos show a suspect going up to poles and cutting down the flyers. Witnesses say the suspect had a knife and was threatening to come back and kill Jews. It's left the city, which is heavily Jewish, on edge.
It's pretty terrifying. You know, we live in a pretty nice, quiet community. It's a pretty diverse community where everybody's friendly. Our kids all grow up together. And, you know, it's just scary. It hits really close to home.
When threats are made to kill Jews, and in a heavily Jewish neighborhood with a lot of beautiful families, young children, this is something that should be taken very seriously.
Police are aware of this case, and they say they have detectives on it right now. Well, tonight, the Jewish community celebrates the first night of Hanukkah, but this year's holiday comes with a heavy heart. Israel at war right now following October's attack on Israel by Hamas that claimed 1,400 lives.
The annual Menorah in the D event at campus marches was held tonight, despite a rise of anti-Semitism here in the U.S. It's a celebration of lights in downtown Detroit.
Amen.
It's the first night of Hanukkah, and the annual Menorah in the D and campus marches lifted spirits at a time of grief and tension due to the Israeli-Hamas war.
Yes, while there are dark forces trying to intimidate, to isolate, even to eliminate Jewish people are responding with light all over the world, with prayers, with goodness, with mitzvahs.
Mitzvah is Hebrew for good deed. One of those mitzvahs came from Detroit police, who provided security at tonight's event in the wake of increased anti-Semitism and disruptive protests across the country. On this night, there were a handful of protesters carrying lit signs that read "ceasefire" outside of the event, but officers far outnumbered the protesters.
Let me say this to those who traffic in anti-Semitism. You can threaten us, you can disparage us, you can even attack us, but we will not be intimidated. We will not cower in fear. We will not relent, and we will not leave.
While hearts are heavy during this year's holiday, spirits remained high with a focus on light.
If you're feeling dark, Hanukkah, we wait for it to become nightfall, and then we light a candle, because we have the power of the candle. Everyone inside has, deep within them, the power of the soul, which is to bring light into this world.
Let's go, okay. Darkness doesn't stand a chance.
Happy Hanukkah!
Oh, straight up in the air.
Look at this, a sneak preview to the weather system that's on its way here. Folks in Minneapolis were able to golf today. And if you're a golfer in Metro Detroit, you might want to make that tee time for tomorrow. How cool. We're moving on up to the 50s.
Yeah, winter warm up here in December. Meteorologist Stephanie Mead joins us with our forecast tonight. Let's call it the calm before the storm, because we know winter's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, usually when we get these temperatures, it's kind of like what is on the back edge of the system. And we are looking at rain, windy conditions, and temps are going to drop too as we head through this upcoming weekend. So get out and enjoy it while we have it. 39 degrees right now in Detroit. Not bad considering we're approaching almost midnight. Those numbers should usually be closer to the freezing mark. 38 in Lansing, still in the 40s along along Lake Michigan from Muskegon all the way down into South Haven. So a little warmer and more mild, even heading into late tonight in western Michigan. We're all dry, we're all quiet, and we remain that way for the next 24 to 36 hours. But you do notice we have a few showers in the form of rain and also snow out near the Pacific Northwest and into the northern plain states there up near North, South Dakota, Idaho, Montana. That's where we're seeing some of that snow and some of that rain. That will eventually track in our direction and give us more so rain than anything else as we head through late Saturday and potentially early Sunday. Temps tonight, they'll bottom out in the mid to upper 30s, partly cloudy skies. Stepping out the door tomorrow morning, whether you're getting ready for school or ready for work. Overall, not bad. You still need that heavier winter jacket, but you might not need it through the afternoon. Temps will warm nicely. We'll already be approaching the 50-degree mark by your lunch hour, with highs tomorrow topping out in the lower 50s. So it has a nice feel tomorrow. Overall, very pleasant heading through the afternoon. Numbers actually continue to warm heading through the day on Saturday. 58 degrees should be a windy one, with rain arriving late in the day. And this next weather maker here, showers do remain scattered. So the system here looks to scoot a little further east, with a lot of the moisture just missing some of our westernmost communities. And then possibility of seeing maybe some lighter snow showers as we wrap up the day come Sunday. But I think as a whole, Sunday remains dry, but temperatures are going to drop significantly. Highs only top out in the low 40s. We remain in the upper 30s to lower 40s as we head through much of next week. Luckily, that's paired up with dry conditions and sunny skies.